There was once a teenage boy named Jaxon who had earned a reputation no one wanted. He was the kid who failed everything. Not just once or twice. Every exam, every subject, every attempt. His report cards were disasters, and his teachers had long given up on him. But the strange part? Jaxon didn't seem lazy. He wasn't messing around or partying. He actually tried. He just never succeeded. At home, his parents whispered about him behind closed doors. At school, his classmates either ignored him or mocked him. Jaxon began to believe what everyone said, that he just wasn't meant for success, that some people are born with talent, and others like him, well, weren't. One day, after failing yet another test, he walked home slower than usual. On the way, he passed a tiny secondhand bookstore tucked between a hardware store and a bakery. Something pulled him toward it. Inside, the dusty air smelled like forgotten stories and old paper. He wandered through the shelves until a strange little book caught his eye. The cover read, "The Map of Mistakes." Curious, he bought it with the last of his lunch money and went home. That night, he read something that flipped a switch in his brain. The book wasn't about how to avoid mistakes. It was about how the greatest people in history ran straight into them and used every mistake as a blueprint. Scientists who got fired, athletes who were told they were too weak, inventors whose first 100 tries ended in disaster. It wasn't talent that made them succeed. It was something else entirely, their relationship with failure. That night, Jaxon stayed up until 3 a.m., not crying over failure, but studying it, learning from it, tracking every mistake he made and breaking it down like a puzzle. He treated his failures like data, not insults. And something insane started to happen. He failed less. Then he started passing. Then he aced a subject for the first time in his life. By the time he reached his final year, Jaxon had transformed. Not into a genius, not into a perfect student, but into someone who could not be broken by failure because he no longer saw failure as defeat. He saw it as a guide. Years later, Jaxon became a learning strategist. Not for the top students, but for the ones like him, the ones everyone gave up on. He showed them how to dissect failure, how to analyze it like a scientist, and how to become obsessed not with winning, but with learning. Jaxon's students didn't just pass. Some of them built businesses, became engineers, teachers, designers, not because they avoided mistakes, but because they mastered the art of bouncing back from them. Moral of the lesson: we grow up being told that failure is the opposite of success. That's the biggest lie we're ever taught. Failure is not the opposite. It's the path. You don't lose when you fail. You lose when you stop showing up. You lose when you believe that one moment defines your worth. So the next time you mess up, don't say, "I failed." Say, "I'm collecting data. I'm building experience. I'm figuring it out." Even the strongest people weren't born winners. They were just too stubborn to quit. If this story hit you hard, if you've ever felt like you weren't smart enough, good enough, or lucky enough, I want you to subscribe to this channel right now because we share stories, tools, and truths to help you rise, even when the world expects you to fall. Remember, the people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to give up. You've got this. Keep moving. Keep learning.